It's your boy, the one, Joey V.
This is Boss Dog Cigar.
This is Quentin Moore chilling in the Cigar Lounge. Have a drink with your boys and tune in. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Cigar Lounge and Podcast CLP. Here, my co-host
B1, aka the Altar. Bring your problems to me.
Leah, your shit the fuck over there. All right, so we got a special guest in the house, man, from the cigar room. He does his thing, man. He gets around like Tupac. He travels, man. We still remember him having that cowboy hat on.
Which time?
He had the black rodeo with a cowboy hat. I said, he finna go take the cheeseburger.
Yeah.
My man,
Black
Dewey, what up,
rodeo,
man?
Shout out to them. They invited me out to be media that day.
That's nice. That's nice. I like how you go on location. All right, so for the fans, for the people who don't know, give a slight introduction to who you are, sir.
Now, my name is Dewey. I'm a host of the Cigar Room show, where I get to document a lot of your stories, your journey, and a lot of the things in quality perspective on the show. Just have a good time on
the show. Okay. So let me ask you, let's get into it with me. Ask you a couple questions now. On your show, well, first of all, let's get into what I'm a bad host. Everybody, what you smoking and what you drinking?
Well,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Guess first.
Oh man, I actually had a cigar roller on the show yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, excuse me. Wednesday. Okay. And he told me of something. This is one of his special blends here. I believe it's Connecticut here. And I'm drinking on the Sapiro beer. I've had a guest on that's a beer enthusiast, so I'm still drinking on that tonight.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. B1, what you got, man?
You know me, man. I'm smoking on the rest of my. This one is the H. Upman, that AJ Fernandez.
Yeah.
I'm smoking on that one, and then I got that Davidoff.
Great choice. I got the Nika Rustica, and I'm drinking the Black and 7 Deuce edition.
Yeah,
right, so then we'll get to that. We got the preliminaries out the way, sir. Get the people an introduction to who you are.
He just did that.
I haven't drank enough. Okay, hold on.
I'm doing my piece. Everybody in the go.
Let me ask you a question. So, first of all, let me ask you a question about Detroit, because I heard good things about Detroit smoking scene. Let me hear from you. What do you think about Detroit smoking scene?
The culture, man. When I was traveling and I was tapping in with different people, they were surprised to hear about Detroit cigar culture growing the way it did. Because to be honest, Detroit cigar culture really grew in the last decade. Like really grew. And now, man, there's so many lounges popping up, and black-owned cigar lounges, and over like 85% black. You know what I'm saying? Even though we lost a lot of population, it's still a predominantly black city. But we do our best to, embrace one another and create a solid culture. You know what I mean? It's the culture that a lot of people say is it polices itself. But, a lot of us do our best to contribute in the right way. So it's not no uncomfortableness. It's not none of the negative. It's a little slice here and there, but as a whole, man, we vibing as a culture on this side.
Okay.
So what's up?
How do you because we're I think we're professionals at this now. Let me ask you, how do you maneuver through the bullshit, through the pettiness and the beefs and everything?
Sometimes, I like to leave it as if it ain't my business, I ain't jumping in. I mean, I ain't getting it. I ain't picking sides and all that. But sometimes when people just blatantly disrespect me, you know what I mean? Like, if I knew you'll do that to this person, like, it kind of made me, you know what I mean? And then sometimes people we creatures of habit. So if you're doing it, you're going to keep doing it to people. You're going to keep being messy. You're going to keep being negative. So you kind of see how people leave with a conversation. Now they leave with a conversation of something that bothers them about a particular person, situation. You got to kind of read the room a little bit or who you talking to and kind of catch it there. And some people like the drama, y'all know. Some people eat it all up, you know what I mean? mama, enough of the pillow talking and all that. Let's kick it. Let's make this fun again, man. Like people, people get caught up in it. Let's leave it at fun or enjoying it. Just a good vibe. Ain't nobody can have a hard weekend working at home to come here and deal with all this BS,
Yeah, definitely.
No, I completely agree with that. I mean, that's for me with all relationships, all conversations and things that I do. If somebody want to get into talking about somebody, especially if that person's not there, it's like I ain't even trying to hear you right now.
Right.
Because I'm a firm believer of people. A lot of people still don't believe me. If I say something about you, I'll say it to you.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a problem with it. Like if I said it, I said it. That's what it is. So, I may happen to bring it up when you're not around. But believe me, if you come to me and you like, hey, I heard you said this. Yes, I did. You're absolutely correct. I did. Because it means that I meant that shit. So I'll never say something about you that I won't say to you.
Exactly.
Whatever.
I say fuck you to your face and then say fuck you behind your back so that I'm talking behind your back. Let me ask you this question though. So you're building a brand, and this was like difficult for me because I just don't have that ability to not say shit sometimes. Sometimes my mouth get me in trouble. When you're building a brand though, how hard is it for you to see some just blatant bullshit? Like, somebody come to you with some bullshit and you just be like, you know what? I ain't gonna even respond. Like, is that a hard thing or that's just like a that's what I do thing?
Oh yeah, it's been times where I didn't say nothing, I didn't respond. It's been people, man. What's crazy is people was hitting me up about things that I was doing good, but I don't respond to. One time somebody hit me up and say, you should dress down because you make your guests uncomfortable. Like literally inbox me. Yeah. I said, listen, man, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, I approach this show this way because of how I idolize, the Cigar Room show. And I'm not a traditional podcast. So when Arsenio Hall, you've seen this show growing up, he was suited no matter who came on there, from Macho Man Randy Savage to Tupac. It didn't matter. He came professional. You know what I'm saying? And that was just my approach to the show. Not necessarily saying that's got to always be. But when I dress down, it's a promotion of someone else. And that's just the way I wanted to approach it, how I wanted to do my show. And somebody had something to say about something that I thought was a good thing. And from what I understand, they think it's a good thing about the show. That I approach it that way. I show respect to the guests because I'm interviewing. How you dress for an interview? Yeah, so it was weird to hear that people were saying about this guy in particular. I let him live. It was weird. But I'm like, I don't care, man.
I mean, a lot of people, they don't understand. Like, I got family in Detroit, been to Detroit many times. Y'all don't understand. That Detroit boy, let me tell you something. Motherfuckers dressed up to go out to get a motherfucking coney dog in Detroit. These motherfuckers don't be playing. They be at coney dressed up. I'm like, God damn, I feel underdressed in this motherfucker. What we doing out here? So, we finna go hit the spot after this, man. What the fuck spot? We finna hit a wedding? What the fuck is we doing? I like boy, you cleaning in a fucking bill of health out this motherfucker. What you doing out here? But they don't understand. That's how y'all do. That's just how y'all do. Y'all tradition. I remember I was talking to Sin, who's from Detroit, and he in Texas now, do Cloud Bros. And he's like, the difference between Texas, or he in Dallas, the difference between Dallas and Detroit. In Dallas, we dress up when it's time to go out. We get suited and booted and we go out. He said, in Dallas, everybody go casual and do all that stuff. He said, but no, we don't do that. And that's how it is in Chicago. You can't go into a club or certain bars in Chicago and got a t-shirt, a hat, some jeans, some no, you can't do that. It's a dress code. You got to have your slacks. You got to have your hard bottoms. You got to have your shirt buttoned up or something casual. I mean, that's how it is. When I went to Pittsburgh and I was going to clubs in Pittsburgh, and I was like, ain't no dress code? And mother looked at me like, dress code? I'm like, yeah. They're like, no, we don't do that. I was like, shh, that was a different world to me.
See, I feel like that kind of goes towards when you're going out, you kind of dress for what you expect. Mm-hmm. So, I feel like with the whole t-shirt, hat, jeans, stuff like that, if you're going out and that's how you dress, you're looking for trouble.
All right, so let
Like,
me ask you a question. Hold on,
like
D1. Let me ask you.
you dressing for a comfortable fight.
You saying dress for what you expect. I go to the club, I'm expecting a touchdown. So should I go naked?
Hey, it's good, baby. It's good.
I'm expecting to do a Dion dance in the end zone.
Hey, that may work. That may work. But I mean, like, just think about it. How many? Now, I'm not saying that it never happens, but how many people do you see go out? You know what I'm saying? You know, they get all dressed up, put on their casual clothes. It ain't even gotta be nothing real fancy. But you know, you put on your gaiters or something. Who trying to fight in that? Who trying to get in trouble? Who trying to get in trouble in that? That right there tell me you came out to relax and enjoy yourself.
Oh, we got the gators on. Ain't gonna be a fight.
Like, I'm cool. I'm right there with you. Hey, I'm fighting for your gators. Like, hey, bro. Hey, calm down. You stepped on his gators. Like, hold on.
you slip up, even if you can't though. Even if you can't though, you slip up in the game.
Oh man.
No, bitch, you ain't got no. You can't even play the team.
Take that L.
All right, so let me ask you,
might well.
As you've been in
against that wall, you know, you got back up against the wall.
You got back up against the wall.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
He just
yeah. You know what I mean? You come oh, you know what I mean?
Let me ask you this question. So, because we're getting into this topic a lot more with our guests, you know, covering like black issues and everything. So, in your realm, in your show, right? Do you feel as though you get enough? What I want to say, enough exposure? Because let me tell you what I mean. I'm sitting watching your show, right? And as I'm watching your show, and I know IGB line. As I'm watching your show, it's saying there's 6 people in here, and I just saw 5 people join, but it's still 6 people. I'm like, how was that possible? Like, do you feel as though they kind of like hold you back or taper you, or they don't allow you to reach a bigger audience?
Yeah, so I mean, in on purpose too, especially with the kind of stuff I do, because it has tobacco and alcohol. I get restricted on limited reach. I don't know if y'all had that experience, but
we got that.
They literally sent me a message and said, so like when I just got live just now, it said it was like 65 people at that point, right? And I just wait a day or two, couple days to kind of see it reflect or not. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, the thing is, you know, I got Facebook, I got YouTube. I just got to keep working, you know what I'm saying? In spite of, you know what I mean? But as long as you keep hitting those, I guess the consistency, you know what I mean? Like yourself. You know what I mean? That's why I say I told her during the interview, I draw inspiration from people like yourself because how consistent you are. You know, because I know for a fact it ain't easy to just have that much subject matter and be consistent, dedicate to it. So that's why I mean that when I said that, like to keep watching you and you know people like yourself. But I specifically think of you like, hey, that's encouraging, that's inspiring to see my brother to keep being consistent and keep doing his thing, irregardless of sometimes the limited exposure that a platform may give.
Mm-hmm. Well, we appreciate that. We definitely appreciate that. I definitely be watching.
Always.
Definitely appreciate that, man. It's always good, you know what I'm saying, when brothers uplift each other. That crab in the barrel shit, that's bullshit because in this realm, in this cigar realm, I have met so many black cigar makers, black lounge owners, black accessory makers, and they have all like helped us out. We started with Six and Stone, who's a black accessory maker. She introduced me to House Now, who owns a mobile lounge. He introduced me to Black Stogies, who have their own cigar out. So it's like everything's possible. We just see each other. And but like, so let me ask you this question: when it comes to like black boutique brands, do you think that they're properly represented, or do you think they're underrepresented?
Definitely underrepresented. Definitely. And you know what? A lot of people in the culture say that, you know, they love the boutique brands. They love showing love to the boutique brands. But I'm gonna be real, man. I see a lot of people rather go to these brands of people, the owners they'll never meet. And because I guess because not to shun them, because they may appreciate just the quality that one brings. Somebody in the boutique just up and coming and trying to create that and trying to create a mark in the game. But the thing about it is, a lot of them, unless you really like make some real traction, like in anything, unless you really hot like that, nobody really want to rock with you like that. Like you got to get so good. Somebody want to rock with you, even though you may be talented, even though you may be marketing right, even no matter what. And then somebody may feel like that it shouldn't be you. Like even though they ain't doing it, like it shouldn't be you though. Like that, that jealousy come different ways. After you chasing success, envy, jealousy, and hate gonna come with it. Even though you don't want to subscribe to it, but a lot of people really want to come up. Like I know, like my man Gerald here, he a boutique cigar brand, Perfect Cloud Cigars. I rep for him every chance I get. You know what I mean? That's my man's. I rap for him every time. But people in the culture here, like just they tap in with him every now and then. And I'm like, he got every kind of cigar you could want. And it's not just him, it's a lot of them out there. I know it's probably some of y'all area. I know it's been a lot on y'all show. But they make great cigars too. So I think that they get underappreciated, unrepresented. They get overlooked a lot of times, and they just trying to make their stamp in the game too. So much love and respect to them for putting in that grind.
I'll say I think a lot of time it goes with people associate rep with quality, and that's not always the case. So they feel like, the bigger the name, they feel like the bigger the name, the more people know about this, then the better that cigar must be. And that's not always the case. Sometimes it's the little known people or, the little known spots that are actually the best. Like my favorite restaurants, and I mean, you watch the show, I always come back to food somehow. I'm just fat like that. But my favorite restaurants are what most people would classify as little local neighborhood hole in the wall spots. They had the best food to me because I feel like it's more personable. Like, there's more of a connection to the food between them, the food, and the customer versus big chains. Like who cares at McDonald's if they give you a bad burger? They sell millions of burgers an hour. They don't care. Whereas, if you go to your local little mom and pop restaurant, they're going to care a little bit more and they're going to, show you a little bit more love because they're appreciative of you coming to them.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's the same way with a lot of these smaller boutique brands.
Yeah.
They just need their chance to get out there.
I will say this besides the show. Shout out to my homegirl Kim. Every time I order from her, she makes sure she throws some extra shit in there. She sent me a note and everything. She'll hit me up. She was like, thank you. She's like, because you were the first person that really put me on the show and put me out there. I appreciate it. I'm like, yo, you doing your thing. You in 3 lounges now. Like you did this. You doing all the work. I'm just smoking a cigar and enjoying it. I'm just sitting back watching the story. Like I enjoy your cigar. So, but let me ask you this question: what do you think we, as the community, the black community, what do you think we can do to uplift our people in this industry?
Man, I think a lot of us are already doing what we can in that respect, and just keep it going. You know what I mean? They get the opportunity to be on shows like yours. You know what I mean? Be on the Cigar Lounge podcast. That ain't nothing to sneeze at. And I'm being real about that. Ain't nothing to sneeze at. The Cigar Lounge podcast, we're putting in work. And people get the opportunity to be on there, and you giving them that platform, giving them that opportunity. And a lot of us out here are doing that. We got to keep that going and not shy away from that. We feel like that's what's happening. I feel like a lot of us are creating that wave because we being consistent. You know what I'm saying? That's what I talk about. In a book is consistency changes circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People, it's gonna change that. It's just we don't step away from it. We don't let nothing away. Like, look, this is what we doing, and it's cool too because y'all are organic about it. Y'all really mean that, what you're saying. You standing on that, so people know y'all ain't lying. Y'all ain't just trying to sell something. Like, no, this is what we really enjoy. This is what we really like.
Okay,
I think that's the other thing with it when you're actually presenting someone else and someone else's products. It's like you can't come off as oh, I'm just trying to sell this for him. Like, you know, because people will gravitate more towards you and towards that other person if you're genuine about what you're talking about, you know. Exactly. So you can't just say, oh, well, I like this cigar, but you've never had that cigar. You know, oh, I've heard about it though. Well, that ain't telling me nothing about it. Exactly. You know, they're like, because then now I go out and I go get this cigar and it's complete trash. Now people are just like, well, damn. Like, I thought you said you liked it, and I mean that's not to say everybody don't like the same things. Yeah. But I mean, you know, it's one of those things where you can't promote something that you don't know about.
You know what?
Like, cause it's hard to talk about it.
I'm glad you said that's a good segue question. What? Because we already know in this game, building a brand is very hard. It's very hard to build a reputation. It's very easy to destroy it. So when it comes to like any, like we know you got the liquor, you do your thing with your man, and you do the cigars and everything. When it comes to you pick like this is who I'm going to rep. This is who I'm going to put my name behind. How you decide that?
You know, a lot of times, even with the show, I watch people for a little bit. I watch how they move. I watch what they doing, who they associate with. Are they being just thirsty to associate with somebody who they feel just got a little bit of a way, or if that's just genuinely who they really want to get a chance to know. And what's the story behind their brand? Also, like, are they serious? You know what I mean? Are they just trying to get a buck out of it? Because, you know, it's money to be made, but it ain't gonna be able to sustain it. So I try to build with people who really want support, who want to exchange that support. Because it's sometimes people, I don't want to name them names, but it's people who I also love to support. And it's only based off of how I exchange with them. Financially, like monetary exchange. Like, as long as I'm buying a lot from you or buying this from you, then you cool with me. But damn, like, you gonna share anything of mine? You gonna show that what I'm doing too, or is it just about what I can do for you? And it's because you're a brand and I'm just a show, or I'm just me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, you gotta have that exchange. When I see people supporting consistently, it gives me the confidence in them and the relationships. So I can stand behind that. I can stand on that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big thing.
Now,
go ahead, please.
I was gonna ask now, with doing your show, has there ever come a time where somebody's just like really got upset with you because you wouldn't have them on your show?
It's been people who had some miscommunication with me, and the miscommunication really been just no communication is a form of miscommunication. I'm like, hey, look, if you didn't respond to what I said to you, or you didn't call me back, or I'm gonna check first. I'm never gonna assume nothing like that. You ain't fucking with me. Like, I'm never gonna do that. I'm gonna be like, hey, maybe something happened. Maybe something's happened there. When we talk about it, you just dismissive of it. I'm like, hey, look, I tried to set this with you or something, but I've had people that, one of the things, the opposite of that was that people wanted me to purchase so much of what they have first to have them on the show. Like, that's the easiest. And I'm like, hold on. This that's not an even exchange. That's not a swap. That's not a swap to me. You know what I mean? Like, I buy a bunch of this before you could be on my show. That's me paying you to be on my show. Yeah. Like, for real. That's me paying you to be on my show. If I'm a support genuine. And I do that for every guest, genuine. But somebody who just outright tells me I need to do this in order for them to be on my show, then who do you think you are?
Oh, yeah, I've been through that.
They do say to me, man, come on, who you playing with, man? You know what I mean? Like I'm some shit. You know what I mean? Like, that was weird to me when I seen people doing that. I'm like, listen, we're trying to build each other up. You know what I mean? So I didn't understand that. And all due respect to people who do that, I'm not doing that on this show.
Yeah, I've saw that. I'll buy a cigar and say, hey, I like your cigar, man. Maybe I can have you on the show. If I'm doing that, if I just see it and I buy it, that's one thing. I have had people like, oh, man, I need you to buy this cigar, buy that cigar, buy that cigar. I'm like, bro, I got a list of people who I talk to who I really fuck with. I got to go through that list. I'm going to get to you, but I got to go through this list and then get to you. If you don't want to be on the show because I haven't purchased anything, okay, cool. We can keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? We can agree to disagree and keep it moving.
Yeah.
So let me
ask you, like, you know, you want to try to still do a show, and I just left them on red. I'm not saying I'm like no big show or anything like that, but I am aware where I'm currently going. I got an upward trajectory. I am aware that my show is on an upward trajectory. So yeah, and I do have a little bit. So when people do that to me, I'm like, why?
And I feel like sometimes for podcasters, for people like you who have shows, for us and other people who have podcasts, depending on it could just be me, but depending on where you come from, I think sometimes people forget where we're from. Like, you know, we from Chicago. Like, we're not there now, but we from Chicago. And me growing up, first of all, I'm not gonna beg you for nothing. Like, so I'm not gonna beg you to be on this show. I'm not gonna, you know, sit here and cry all the time. Like, come on, please be on it. Nah, whatever. If I extended my hand and you slapped it away, that's it. Like, we done. Like, I ain't got nothing else to do with you. We cool.
And the most
you know what I'm saying?
Is yesterday's prices is not today's prices. It's gonna offer you that shit on an uptick, and we get up there, and now you want to get on the show. Yesterday's prices is not today's prices. We'll get to you when we get to you now. You know what I'm saying?
I don't smoke nothing unless somebody blatantly tells me straight up, like, nah, I need you to do this. Like I said, sometimes communication may be messed up, or just some things in life. Sometimes something could be going on that I don't know about. And you could be like, yo, dude, this happened, or did that ain't none of my business. Because sometimes what happens in people's life is their business. You know what I mean? And then we just couldn't get things together in. When you blatantly do disrespect and tell me I should be doing it or be sitting on my show, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know what type of goofies you've been dealing with, but I ain't one of them. Like that's not happening.
So let me ask you this, and I saw this. I saw you putting together an R&B night, which is dope. I saw you putting together yours, man.
Tomorrow night.
You know, we watch, baby. We be watching. We watch. We don't just we watch. So I saw you putting that together, brother. How difficult? Because we put our thing together, but how difficult was it for you to put that together?
Man, you know, I actually used to do promotion, like, and it wasn't because I wanted to call myself a promoter. My cousin is actually an artist, and I got homeboys who do music, and I used to produce. I used to make beats, and I had a studio back in the day. I had a studio back in the day to try to, I'll say this. I had a studio back in the day to try to show that I was doing something legitimate.
Yeah.
So I was, I wanted to try to make sure that I had some type of focus, but eventually I said, man, my cousin, when I came back, I was living in Minneapolis at the time. And it's a lot of y'all up there, by the way. A lot of people in Chicago.
Oh yeah, we run to Minneapolis, we run to Texas, we run to fucking Indiana, we run.
So you know what I mean. So I came back home to Detroit, and my cousin was like, "Cuz, help me out." I started managing, and then eventually I created a label. And so when I came back, it was called Clean Cut Music. And I came back and I seen everybody was like all on these DJs, like, everybody happy with this person you needed. You know, for lack of a better term, like they was riding all these people that I was like, who is they to be dictating what we doing? So I said, I'm professional. Who's the manager here? Who's the owner? We talk to the boss. Hey man, how much is it? All right, listen. All right, so say for instance, real quick, you might say, hey man, for this night, I need $1,500 to the venue. But they get the car, they like, can you be clear? I'm like, sure. What's your capacity? And they be like, say they got a 90% capacity. If I get 60% capacity, can I have the? Can I? I mean, I want the door. Can I? If I get 60% of capacity, can I split the booth with you? It's me negotiating with the guy. Split the booth with you if I get 60% of capacity. So now I'm at maybe 40 something 50 people. Now, if I surpass that, can I get a better deal the next? Can I get a better deal? Can we say somewhere around 70 to 80% of your capacity? So it's me talking to these people. Sometimes they go for it. Sometimes they be like, man, what should have? But when I actually went and proved it that I could do it, then it became easier. But I just had to put that work in. So like tomorrow, I basically put the idea in these cigar lounge owners' minds that I basically just talked to them. I said, listen, I know we accustomed to house music. I know we like our chill music and all that. But man, I came up on Jodeci. I came up on, you know what I'm saying, like Raphael Diaz, yeah, man, all these different people. I said R&B. You know what I'm saying? It was good music. I did love music. Whether it's I was singing about what I was going through, whatever it is. I love R&B music, but you know what I'm saying, I love rap like anybody else. But man, you know, I love that collaboration of R&B and hip hop. So I said, listen, let me introduce something else to the culture, and maybe when we start to do our cigar events, I can introduce a new dynamic that is still solid, because I know they don't want, you know, like Richard Pryor said in the Wiz, no riprap. You know what I mean? They don't want the problems, right? That's what a lot of people here in Detroit think about. I mean, like, you don't know who ops is who. I'm like, let me try to make sure that happens. The hardest part about it is getting everybody to communicate properly. You got to do sound check. You got to do practice runs. You got to structure the show right. I got to have everybody here on time. That becomes the more complicated part on the back, which was what I was kind of going through today. You know what I'm saying? Get my people that I love to be on time and do it right.
Okay. So let me.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Go ahead, B1.
I wasn't finished.
Let me throw a remake question in, because I heard you ask this question, and I've been asked this question. When you go out and somebody recognizes you, is that like weird to you, or are you used to it now? What's happening?
Man, when me and my wife was out, man, and somebody recognizes, she was used to, like, you know, people in our culture, you know, black folks, you know, what up though, man? I see you doing your thing, but you know what I mean? Like, I see you at the show, you know, car, man. Especially like, you know what I mean? Like, people like, oh, dude, and it's crazy seeing you like this, dog. You like cleaned all the way up, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing this now, you know. But it's when I seen, you know, just being real, I see white people just like they like country music, banjos and all that. And he said, yo, he went over to me, he said, hey man, I think I recognize you. Like, you was kind of young. This is the first time this happened to me. And I was like, I maybe look like somebody died. I said, my name is Dewey, man. He's like, but don't you got like a podcast, like a cigar show? And I was like, yeah. And he yells to the guy's car, this is him. Yeah, I told you it was him. And I didn't realize that I started broadening out, like other people. You know, I don't know, like the different ethnic groups recognize it, like, really? Like, you know, I'm starting to see people, and then when I tap into people, the DR hit me up in different places in the country, and you know, different countries across the world, like messaging me and like showing me love and recognizing different places that I may not know them. Man, I appreciate it so much, because I feel like I'm doing something good, you know.
Yeah, I will say for me, I remember we did our first We Outside fest. CI was in February, and it was this me and Gogo was walking. It was this white lady, and she's like, "Hold on." She's like, "I know you and you." I'm like, you know, I still got that Chicago mentality. I'm like, "No, I don't think you know me." She's like, "No, I know y'all." She's like, "Y'all do cigars." She's like, "I saw y'all before." I was like, yeah. Let me buy you guys a drink. I was like, oh, okay. That shit weird though. It's still weird to me. That shit weird to me, but no, I appreciate it.
Y'all had to know it was coming. Y'all been moving stuff. I know y'all had to see it coming. That y'all impact was all. You know what I mean?
It's weird, man. I don't know. It's weird. I'm like, thank you. Because I didn't know, like our demographic. I didn't know we was like, we do have women watch, but I know we had like women in her bracket watching us. You know, because we basically just a hip hop podcast. You know, we smoke cigar, talk shit, we cover life. I was like, yeah, I love you guys' show. I was like, Gucci, give you guys a drink. Like, okay, let me get you here. You want me to go cigar? You know, this is all love. Like, that's weird, but it is very appreciated when you can sit down and you can talk to people who listen to you. Like somebody was like, oh, you're an influencer. I don't consider, and this is gonna go into a question. I'm like, no, I don't consider myself an influencer, not me. But do you consider yourself an influencer?
I never considered myself. I just, I guess as I grow, see the impact. You know, maybe I guess here in Detroit, it's probably like the city. I guess people always say, you know, I encourage them or influence them, or they heard something good on the show, or they really like it. You know, it was one guy, somebody else who hit me up. He said, "Man, what you think of motivation?" So you feel motivated? Did you feel motivated? I don't know. You tell me. You know what I mean? But he was being funny. But I just was like, it's just these one-off people, but that they had them problems. But me, I just keep it moving and see what happens. Hopefully, I can be influential and be a solid influence. That's my hope.
I think to me, and this is just me speaking, I think that you're a good representation of the Detroit smoke scene. I think you really are a good representation of that. And like you said, even in Chicago, like I remember when I was in Chicago, and it's no lie, and my brother could verify all this. I was smoking cigars, and motherfuckers look at me like, motherfuckers, you some old white Republican? Nobody smokes cigars.
All right.
And we fast forward. I know lie, we fast forward. I see all the little homies smoking cigars. Now I'm seeing all these cigar bars open up. I'm like, where all these cigar bars come from? It's like we're as a people, we're definitely making an impact or a dent in the cigar industry. Like I got three cigar lounges about me. 2 of them are black owned, but the other one, he's an Arab. If I go to any 3 of them lounges right now, it's going to be packed with black people. And that's a beautiful thing. And I remember I was talking to Fatima, who models, and she was talking about how her grandfather taught her about cigars, and she was like, the one thing I wish is that we own factories and farms to do this shit ourselves. Now, do you think we're going to get to a point where we actually going to start doing that?
Man, what's the name? The Centurial Tobacco. He owns his own field down in Mississippi.
Okay.
He one of them popped in on the show $250,000 or something like that. Maybe a following or something like that across all his platform. But man, he's doing his thing. I think he's down there in Mississippi. And I think eventually it's going to get to that point where a lot of more people are going to be doing that. And, make it, I think there's probably some people now maybe a little scared. They may come up with people like yourself who has a real impact on people. Hey, what you think of this? You think of this leaf I got? Different, these different things. Like you give me some nice game. Y'all being actual, sponsors in the culture, they can get some real information, real advice from you. So I think those maybe sitting on the couch watching y'all show every now and then. I really think that eventually they're gonna tap in with that.
I would say this, Mike. So a lot of people know Michael Jordan bought a farm, a tobacco farm in Cuba. I don't know what he's gonna do with it, but he bought a tobacco farm. I can't wait to see what he do with that. But let me ask you this question. Now, if you could go back, beginning of your journey, right now, you know what you know right now. You can talk to yourself at the beginning of your journey, beginning of your show. What would you tell yourself?
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I was scared a lot in the beginning. I didn't think I sounded right. I didn't think I heard properly a lot of times. Kept thinking about what this like. I tell myself, don't be afraid.
I think a lot of people need to follow that advice now, because a lot of times you scare yourself out of doing stuff.
Yeah,
because it's like you're afraid of what might be ahead instead of embracing what might be ahead. A lot of people will, like they won't do something because they're like, or they're afraid to be themselves. That's the other thing. Is they try to conform to what they think everybody else wants instead of just being you. Like, be you. Some people will like it, some people won't. But you'll have the people that you need to have. So, like it's exactly like I tell people all the time, like, can't nobody be me but me. Like that's all it is. Like, maybe somebody that look like me, but they still ain't me.
This might be, they might consider it arrogance. It's just Chicago with me. Whatever I do, I say, fuck it, it's gonna work. I'm dead serious. Whenever I do something, fuck it, it's gonna work. I do a show, fuck it, it's gonna work. Let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, even I know we both gonna get there, we're gonna get big. But that's always been my attitude. Like, fuck it, it's gonna work. Because we're not doing it. Look, see, it's a different thing. We're doing it for the money. We're not doing it for the money. We're doing it as you are. We're doing it for the love. We enjoy this shit. We like this shit. We like having conversations. We like smoking cigars. We like talking to people. So if it doesn't work, it still works because we got a conversation. We got a different point of view from somebody else. So even if we never had this, but if we put out a video that had no views on it, it's still a success to me because I got to learn something that I might not have known when I got it when I started that conversation. So it's kind of like I'm doing it for me, but it helps other people. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
No, that makes sense. I mean, it's just one of those things. Go ahead.
To your point, people, and a lot of people already have stuff to do that should come at this, and they need to, the person just said, they understand that, be you. Like, don't try to be somebody else, you know what I mean? Try to find somebody else way the way they do it. That's good information.
People can tell. They can tell when you're authentic. There's a lot of problems. A lot of people try to be something. Hey, people look at you and tell like that's not you. That's not who you are. That's not how you that's not your DNA. I say shit that might get me in trouble. Fuck it, that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? People might not like it, people might like it. I don't personally, and that's why we do the show the way we do it. Allow people to come out and be themselves, let their hair down, whatever, relax, chill, be them. Because you go to work, a lot of people go to work, they have to be somebody else, they have to pander and cater to people. You don't have to do that when you all work. Be you. You know what I'm saying? Have your cigar, have your drink, be you. That's our whole encouragement. We make our show on a lounge atmosphere. How you can talk to the lounge and how we want you to talk to you.
I mean, that's how it should be. Just be relaxed. Like, it's supposed to be your chance to, get away from all that stress, all that, overthinking everything. It's just your time to relax. That because I've said it plenty of times. That's what cigars are to me. That's my time to relax. Like, so I'm not, I'm forgetting everything else that just happened that day. I'm not worried about what might happen in the next hour that I'm smoking or whatever. Like, I'm here, I'm right here, I'm relaxing. Like, and that's what it is, and that's what it should be.
Exactly. So I want you to go back. We're gonna go back in time. I said time, give us your first cigar. How did you get into cigars? How was it presented to you?
I was down in Houston. I don't remember. I was down in Houston, yard. Somebody asked me, "Want me to cut that for you?" I act like I knew what I was doing. Smoked it, didn't know how to smoke it. But when I got back home to Minneapolis, I started seeing different cigars, and I asked, "This tastes good. It's okay to smoke." It's like I might want to get into it. And I started learning different smokes, and it took me a while, and in a world, opening up my palate, like, man, this kind of things that I like. We like the route cigar. Like, these is extremely fruity. Chicago, I'm like, man, these is intense. I realize, like, all they are, and I started understanding, wherever somebody at, a cigar journey, man, that's what I eventually started going through things. I just realized that I would enjoy cigars. I was intrigued by it, but I realized eventually, like, I enjoyed it's a good vibe for me, and I just everything just kind of,
Let me ask you this, because I know I didn't know nothing about it. I had that people teach me. When I cut the cigar for the first time, yo, I put that motherfucker like right here. I thought, I took the whole shoulder off that bitch. I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. But
man, I used to straight to everything.
He said, dude, you don't waste about 45 minutes to work the cigar. So he got me one of the little he got me one of the straight cuts. I had to back onto it. So I practiced that and I learned how to cut. Yeah, that first time I cut so much of that cigar, man, they looked at me like, what the fuck is he doing? Man, let me know.
I used to smoke pan. Like, I used to smoke with the pan and still be on there. Somebody lost my like, hey, you smoke that pan, man? Smoke the pan?
Man, hold on, that's a good question though. When do you take the band off?
When do I take the band off?
Yeah.
It's probably like maybe about a half inch,
Exactly what I do. I like it to heat up, so I do it coming off easy. Sometimes when you try to take off the smoke before it gets lit up and everything, we say some slight it over, and the glue starts sticking to the cigar, so I try to let it get warm and try to slide it off.
Yeah. But sometimes you get that band up early, you unravel the cigars, that glue and all that band kind of so tight. You unravel something that heat, and then they'll come off naturally.
Mm-hmm. So let me put you on the spot. This question. If you don't want to ask this first question, understand. What is your favorite cigar lounge to go to?
My favorite cigar lounge to go to?
Mm-hmm.
Off top, maybe the cigar lounge. It's in Pontiac. Guy opened up his lounge, got that crazy. And the main reason why I like the vibe, I like my friendship, and I remember there, and it's always accommodating. He's a good friend of mine now. He didn't hate him. I have a cigar room show. He has a cigar room lounge. Hold on a second. Mute your mic. Okay. Now what was you saying? I was saying that he got the cigar room lounge. I got the cigar room show. We didn't hate on one another because of the similar name or the same name. He embraced me, he showed love, and he was one of the first people to really like embrace me and show me love within the Detroit cigar culture. And you know what I mean? He always gonna have a loyalty from me for that. So his lounge will always be number one in my mind, not just because of the name, but because of the friendship I got with him. And he was the first lounge to really embrace me and show me love. Oh yeah, I remember Dan Cigar Lounge in Rosedale. I just live in Rosedale outside of Baltimore. That was the first lounge I went into, and we talk to this day. I'm getting him on the show, but we talk to this day, man, and it's crazy
because I moved. I was in Pittsburgh, came down here for a couple years. That was the first lounge I went to. Then I moved back to Pittsburgh, and I came back probably like 4 or 5 years later. And it's crazy when I walked in, everybody still remembers. Shot Town, what up? Man, where the hell you been, man? Damn, you don't smoke cigars no more? Like, man, no, man, I'm up in Pittsburgh now. It's crazy. It's like the cigar lounge is like Cheers, man, for real, because they remember you. They remember you. As soon as you walk in, yo, hey, what you doing? Hey, what up, man? How you doing? So that's always, to me, that's always been like, it's crazy. Like it is, everybody knows your name. Like for real. Like everybody you walk in there, man, what's up? How you doing, man? And they offer you cigars and drinks and everything. You gotta share. You gotta share, which reminds me, we got to get with you again on another show because we want to talk about cigar lounge etiquette. I think that's very important because I heard some videos and I was like, but that's neither here nor there. We'll get to that later. Now, what is your favorite cigar? Oh, I ain't gonna say, hold on. Not what's your favorite. We're gonna cancel it out. What is your go-to cigar?
My go-to cigar, is it's a 5x60 Quiet Pleasure cigar, Maduro, from Perfect Cloud Cigars, boutique brand here in the city, and that's my go-to. It's been a consistent, smooth cigar. It ain't a harsh smoke. It's from start to finish. It's a smooth, good smoke. Even with some Maduros can, they could, not even just Maduro. Some of them could be a little harsh, a little strong. But this one is it's mild to, it's a medium to full. But it's a good smoke each time. It's been a really good, consistent cigar.
I'm gonna be your DM action about that because I'm gonna try.
Outside that, to be the LFDs.
Oh, definitely. The Digger is my go-to. I ain't gonna lie. The Digger is definitely my go-to. I'm about to get at you about that because we do our top 25. So we got to try them and see. We can put them on the list. So, and that's a good. I'm about to try that. We got a lot we got to try, but we're gonna get to that too. So when it comes to this space, right? Do you find it so? Let me walk this back. Let me ask you this question because I am interested in this question as a podcast. On the road, do you find it difficult to record? Because you do a lot of shows where you doing this, you here and you there, and you here and you there, and you here and you there. Do you find it difficult
to move around or?
Yeah, to move around and do the show. So when I'm out, I'll go out and I might do a lounge tour. But we'll have shows pre-recorded because when I'm out, say I'm going somewhere, I'm trying to enjoy that moment. But I see that you're actually out and you're recording. Do you find that difficult to do?
It hasn't been difficult. I've been so fortunate because I've been able to go to different places that's expecting me and really support what I'm doing. And I always enter in with respect. I always enter in with respect, and I've been fortunate enough to meet people who have been respectful when I can. You know what I mean? Because I traveled wherever, flew wherever, drove wherever. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a part of paying my dues. It's hard sometimes on the travel because I'm coming out of my own pocket a lot of times.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so when I get there, I appreciate people so much for taking that time. I always say this, I'm not going to take your time for granted because you ain't have to give it to me. And you giving me an opportunity to document your story. I come in humbly. And so I've been fortunate enough to see people who appreciated it. It's been a situation, it's been an occasion or two, but where people I wasn't sure how to read them at first, but they opened up and was like, hey man, I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing. You know what I mean? And sometimes that be people kind of preconceived thoughts thinking that potentially I might be a shock value show. That I might add something to bait them to say something about somebody else, or I may ask them an uncomfortable question, or, is this even worth it sitting down with you? You know what I mean? So I'm glad I could always leave with respect and leave with it.
So, and this is something that's happening to us now. So let me ask this question. Do you ever find people just hit you up out the blue yo, I want to be on your show, man. I need to be on your show, man. No. The count's not what we talking about. What we talking about? What people saying you got to buy something. These just people genuinely like, yo, I like your show. I want to be on your show.
Oh yeah, I get that quite a bit. A lot of times when people do that, unfortunately, most of those people when they do that, it's kind of an impulse thing. And just being completely transparent here, it's an impulse thing for them. And a lot of times those shows don't really happen, unfortunately, because either they end up not having the time for real. Because sometimes people be owners or people be rent, and they time that is convenient for them isn't the most convenient for me. Like earlier in the day, you know what I mean? I can't just stop, drop what I'm doing and leave work. I got a family to take care of. You know what I mean? I can't pull up on you, or maybe something was going on at that time in your life. But when people do hit me up, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Yeah, definitely. We'll set something up. Let me know your time availability. Oh, yeah, we're going to set something up. You know what I mean? So a lot of times it be like kind of impulse, but I appreciate when people do follow through and we actually can sit down and have that good conversation.
Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's definitely a beautiful thing. And I like I said, I'm going to my experience. I've had people, I'm not going to mention no names, but I had people who I, and I don't want to sound like I'm, but I had people who I put on the map.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going with. And I can't even get it. And it's crazy because I can't even get an interview from them. I'm like, but everybody like, yo, we trying your cigars because they suggested you got to have them on. So I don't take it personally. It's just like, okay, well, a lot of people can't fit into what we do as a podcast. And I don't hold that against it.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, man, because, I know for a fact you definitely helps a lot of people out. Like I said, I hope nobody take it for granted what y'all show do.
I try, man. All we can do is try, bro.
Yeah, but it's definitely one of them shows that you definitely can't take it for granted.
Now, let me hit you with the idea because I was talking to people. I think this is what we need to do as black podcasters. I think, and I've talked to Coco, I talked to other black podcasters in the cigar realm, and I just think we need to get together, have us a podcast weekend where we sit back, we do shows, you know what I'm saying? We hop on each other's shows, show love at some lounge. I don't give a damn where it is, and we just do it like that. I think that'd be dope. I think that one that'll show people that
trying to plan something for Vegas next year, right?
Oh yeah, we're gonna be in Vegas, March 13th, 14th, 15th. I think because we deal with it, and it's amazing because we deal with each other so much, and we support each other so much, and I think people need to see that we are actually in this industry. We ain't just casual smokers. Like, we're in this industry, and we support each other.
Yeah,
because I think a lot of people look at us as being casual smokers. Like when I started smoking, I ain't gonna lie, the only people I know outside of like the original, like maybe a mechanic or something, but the only people I knew that was big that was smoking cigars was fucking Suge Knight.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see, you know what I'm saying? I didn't see Jay-Z out there with a cigar like that. I saw Suge every time I saw Suge, he had a cigar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't see I know Jay-Z smoking, I know Nas and smoke, but they wasn't smoking like that. You know what I'm saying? You see Suge with the cigar, and I'm like, this motherfucker here.
Yeah, every time. Yeah, every time I was like that. But it's I'm making an effort to make sure I'm out there in Vegas for that, to support. You know what I mean? I pick my vacations in December, so I'm definitely gonna make sure I pick that week in particular to make sure I got that off. Make sure I'm out there for whatever you need me for, big dog.
Oh, we definitely gonna have a good time out there. We're gonna we gonna try to do we're waiting for TPE to open up. We're gonna do TPE in January. We definitely gonna go out there. There's gonna be a lot of because a lot of the bigger brands, tobacco product expo. They have a lot of other things. So you got cigar makers, you got cigarette brands, you got the marijuana industry all in one place in Vegas in the convention center. And a lot of the bigger brands have pulled out because now they're doing PCA in March. So that allows a lot of boutiques. So a lot of boutique brands are starting to come in now, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. So that's in January, not February. I thought it was in February this whole time.
No, they moved it. So it's going to be at the end of January, the beginning of February.
Gotcha.
And then PCA is going to be in March. which we ain't gonna do because we're gonna be back in Vegas in fucking May. So we like, you know, I'd rather go to Tampa Cigar Week because Tampa Cigar Week is just, you know, I can get on a plane. That's an hour away and it's cheaper. So, and so we're gonna be there anyway again in May. It makes no sense. But let me ask you this: so, where do you see your show going? Well, what is the end game with your show?
I want to get as many sponsors as I can, and create a space where it becomes a real media platform. But you know, I look at my show being like a solid segment on TV, on you know, social media, big on there, where I'm set up. Eventually, I want to kind of gravitate towards, you know, I'm at my desk, bringing on a guest to sit right there, like on a late night talk show, at the Cigar Room show, or if it's like a setting like I have now, that it's like a real live show, a show. I got different guests, different things going on. This is why I'm implementing different things like the R&B night. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna have music on the show. I'm gonna have different people with quality perspectives on the show. I'm gonna have different things like that. I want it to be a real show in the respect of, you know, driving different advertisement. I'm doing my commercials during that time. I'm cutting to pay some bills. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be the overall concept is going to be with the show. It might evolve and change into something different, and it has already. It's changed in different ways, but I want to drive some real advertisement dollars into that so I can, you know, reinvest that and contribute in different ways in the culture to other people who up and coming. You know, I want to be able to embrace the new up and comers that's in media. I don't want to be their competition. I want to be able to embrace those people and bring them on. So that's some big goals for me to have with this show in particular.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah. What you about to say, B1?
Now, for me, I have an idea. Since I know you were a promoter, still are a promoter. I want to actually put together, and I'm going to have to get together with you on this. I want to put together not really a festival or a concert, but just like a gathering with different boutique brands and possibly new and upcoming artists.
I mean,
and I make that. And honestly, I can't even lie. Like, just off the top of my head, I was actually thinking I want Quentin to headline that.
Yeah, Q.
I want him to be, you know what I'm saying, the headliner. But I want to put something together like that to showcase new talent, like all around. So new talent in the cigar world, new talent in the music industry, you know, stuff that people don't normally think about. And for me, when I think of things like this, I'm always thinking about places growing. So I actually want to do it in a city that's not well known. Like, find a city that actually has very interesting things going on, but people other than the locals don't really know about it because it's a town that's not talked about.
Yeah, you might do it.
I'm going to tell you right now a town I think that is. Youngstown, Ohio.
Youngstown? Okay. I've been through Youngstown a couple times.
When I went there, I seen what they was doing, and I see that they're trying to implement the culture and make it bigger. And a lot of their artists, they got their own jazz nights and all that with their local artists, all local artists. You know, Ohio has a deep culture of music. Deep culture.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, so I think a Youngstown.
A lot of the funk came from Ohio. Ohio, they respect. A lot of the funk and the old R&B artists, the Gap Band, all them, Roger, them Ohio motherfuckers.
And I'm going to tell you, too, like, I think Youngstown, the people that I know there, they'll bring their city out. They'll definitely bring the people out for that because they support each other so much. That's what I seen when I was down there. I was like, dog, these black folks down here are supporting each other. They rocking with each other. They really solid with one another. And it's a town that's not talked about too much. It's a small hub, but it's a lot of people down there doing their thing. And I know that they would support one another and really help each other. Even like people, somebody like myself, when I went there, man, they showed up and showed love to me, man. I felt like I was at home, man, I felt they was feeding me, they was catering to me whatever I needed, man. They showed a lot of love, man. And Youngstown, what you just explained, I think it's one of them towns that you could do that and they would embrace you. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I want to do. I want to find towns and cities like that. I want to find towns and cities like that. And, I might even want to start off just doing, one time, see how it goes. Mm. But eventually, make it an annual thing and move it around. Yeah, so, we be in Youngstown. But then next time, we may be, who knows? We might be out in Nevada or out in Utah somewhere.
Yeah, it's like how we do the podcast. Y'all get you. I mean, because we know a lot of comedians. We know some singers. And yeah, so that'll work. We'll discuss that later. We'll discuss that. See if we can get in contact with. Because I wanted to do it here, and I contacted them. I wanted to rent out the we have a fairground. They never got back to me when I said what the subject was about. Oh yeah, we're very interested. And I told them what we was gonna do, and they was like, nothing. I was like, yo, I got cigar makers, I got cigar accessory makers, I got an R&B singer, I got comedians. We can go out here and do this, and they never got back at me. And I was like, oh, okay, that's what we doing. Okay, cool.
See, I wouldn't even mind doing it out here, because I'm in Lawrence, and we got fairgrounds and stuff out here. But I mean, I feel like out here, besides KU, so besides the University of Kansas, there's not a whole lot to do out here. But it is still pretty, the state of Kansas is still pretty interesting. But not a lot of people talk about Kansas because...
That's because fuck that black state.
It's Kansas. I mean, usually when people talk about it, or they actually don't talk about it, they talk about Kansas City. And a lot of people don't realize that Kansas City is not actually Kansas. It's Missouri. Now, there is a Kansas City, Kansas, because they do share the border. But when most people talk about Kansas City, they're speaking of Missouri, not Kansas itself.
You gotta think about it though. If you look at the biggest cities in Missouri, they share borders with other states. They trying to get the fuck out of Missouri. So let me. I'm sorry, Kansas. I'm sorry, Missouri. I'm fucking with y'all. I'm sorry. I'm fucking with y'all. But y'all know St. Louis is just trying to sneak over into Illinois. They just trying every year. They trying to get. But no. So let me ask you this, and I'm gonna say a preference. To me, I'm gonna ask you the most unrecognized smoking city. And I'm gonna say to me, it's Pittsburgh. A lot of people don't realize how deep in the culture Pittsburgh is. Like you can go downtown Pittsburgh and you could trip over Cigar Lounge. You go to Squirrel Hill, Penn Hill, no matter where you go in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh area, you could trip over a lounge. And you said Youngstown. But what other city you'll say that's unknown that is a great smoke city, a great smoke town?
Sure, man. Great smoke city, great smoke town. I'll keep it here in Michigan. My man's opened up a cigar shop called Stogie Cigar Shop. And Saugatuck, Michigan, it's a lakeshore town. And Muskegon, Michigan, it's a lakeshore town. And each time they come out and they show them love, man. They show that cigar shop, and they definitely I didn't expect that kind of launch. That many people really enjoy cigars. It surprised me because coming from a bigger city. You don't think that those them lakeshore towns, people just casually come in there. There's people there that actually really, really, really love smoking cigars, really love the leaf. You know what I mean? And I was surprised by that, but I was pleasantly surprised. And I liked that they was supporting, you know what I'm saying? He only black-owned business in one of the towns, and they support him. They love him. They got a lot of love for what he's doing. So
let me ask you. Let me hit you with this question. Where do you see us as a people taking this cigar culture in about, let's say, 5 years? Let's go 5 years. Maybe we'll 10. Let's go 5 years. Where do you see us as a people taking the cigar culture?
Oh man, it's gonna continue to get more mainstream. That you're gonna start seeing more people, you know, not just doing this in movies. You know, I don't even notice this. A lot of people do this in movies. They just had the cigar just playing. They ain't got it lit up and all that. You're gonna see people shooting films and people doing things in lounges, movie scenes, and you know, music videos. You're gonna see pop culture enjoying the cigar culture, like bringing you in on that. And you know what I'm saying? Not just blowing smoke into the camera, but just vibing out. Cool, you know? I think that's what's going to happen eventually is it's going to mainstream itself. Because, you know, a lot of the, you know, it's, you know, big shout out to Cam Newton and them, you know, because he bringing that to the forefront.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely bringing that to the forefront. So he making a huge it's take them kind of people to make that huge contribution to the culture and then eventually bring people like us along that, you know, are embedded in the culture and not just people who casually smoke. We really do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Shout out to Cam. Shout out to Hove. Shout out to Nas. Have you had that cigar?
That cigar I had with it first strap.
Oh yeah, that motherfucker good. Shout out to him. Shout out to Ocho Cinco. That's one of the best cigars I've had. Oh, I see you.
Yeah.
Like I went in the humidor. Shout out to Ocho.
Yeah.
The Ocho Cinco is one of the best fucking cigars.
I haven't had that one yet.
Go on his website. He has a 3-pack for $40. He got all 3 of his cigars. That is one of the best fucking cigars. I'm telling you. That cigar, I can't say enough about that cigar. That cigar is fucking phenomenal. And
Ed Reed just dropped the stick too.
Yeah, he got one. I gotta go. I keep being lazy. It's one in my shop in Baltimore. And I told my man, I said, Dan, hold me a cigar. He said, whenever you come, I got it for you. I gotta try that. Because Placencia produced his.
Yep.
But Ocho Cinco kind of did it.
Shout out to Ed Reed. Ed Reed follows the Cigar Room show.
Coach Reed, shout out to him. I'm gonna still call him Coach. Fuck what they talking about.
Right. Ain't no doubt about it. Straight up.
All right, so we finna go ahead and wrap it up. But before we do, B1, you got any questions?
No, I'm good right now.
Okay. Man, it has been a pleasure as always. I enjoy talking to you, brother. It just the knowledge and the camaraderie that we share, man, showing people that, hey, we all in this, man. We all together. I always appreciate that, brother.
Man, same here, man. You already know.
Yes, sir.
I'm definitely try to get up with you about getting that event going, you know, see what all it's going to take to get that going, see what we can do with that.
I think all we got to do is try to figure it. We got the people. I got people say, hey, let me know. So we got the people. It ain't gonna be no problem getting the cigar boutique brands in there, the accessory makers, the artists. It's just gonna be the problem. The only problem is finding a place where we can do it at.
Man, you already know, and I'm gonna definitely make my way down to Pittsburgh to rock with you, man.
Well, I'm in Southern Maryland now, but if you go to Pittsburgh, let me know. I'll get up to Pittsburgh with you. But if you ever pop down,
you close to Baltimore?
Huh? I'm close to Baltimore. I can always pop up in Baltimore. I'm close to Baltimore.
I'll tell you something. I'm definitely gonna come to Baltimore because of my man Jay Crafter's Watches, who supports the show. You know, he in Baltimore.
Okay. Yeah, definitely come up. I grab Mark from Select Draw. He'll go ahead and pop up with me. Coco, she got a podcast. We'll pop, man. We'll make a day of it. So definitely, I'll hang around Baltimore all the time. Cherry Hill, what up?
Baltimore, definitely.
It's all love, man. I love Baltimore. I ain't gonna lie. It's 2 cities that remind me of home really closely. That'd be Baltimore and Buffalo.
Right.
So Baltimore and Buffalo reminds me of home so closely. And it's crazy because, like, yeah, they talk all that shit about Baltimore, but when I went to Baltimore, they're like, man, where you from? I'm from Chicago. Oh, man, yeah, we love Chicago. Man, I got so much love in Baltimore, man. Met so many good people, so many good lounges in Baltimore that keep popping up and everything. Man, it's all love in Baltimore, man. They show nothing but love, man.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait to make it down there. Definitely.
So let me know. I'll pop up. Give me a week in advance. If it's on a weekday, I'm off work today. Just let me know.
Ain't no doubt about it. Man, it's been a pleasure, man. You know, it's been real, man, like always, man. Gonna continue to support. You already know that.
Yeah, definitely check out Cigar Room. Check out my man's, man. He everywhere, man. YouTube, IG, the man, Facebook, the man's everywhere, man. Wherever you get your shit from, check his shit, most definitely. We appreciate having you on the show, man. We enjoyed it, man. It's always been a pleasure talking to you and picking your mind, man. I'm gonna say this: if y'all remember Nelly CD, this Nelly CD right here, Sweat and Soup.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, man, definitely. It's been a pleasure, man. I love talking that shit with you, man. Anytime you want to come on, man, just let us know, man. We definitely gonna do another show though. We definitely gonna talk about lounge etiquette. So we definitely gotta get into that. But as always, I'm your local hero, reminding you to blow your smoke like a goddamn gentleman and gentlewoman. Shit, we out.